Hello everybody, my name is Tuomas, welcome back to the channel. This time I'm doing things a little bit differently than usual. I'm including a few spoken sections to this video because there's a little bit of history concerning this, surrounding this area that I'm visiting right now, and we are going to explore a super cool cave. I'm doing things a little bit differently within my camping trip as well, because this time I have my hammock with me. I usually have my tent or tarp. I don't really know why this year I haven't done a single hammock trip, which is weird because I always get the best night's sleeps in my hammock. We have a little hike to do, so better get going. And my backpack is killing my back. Everybody who does photography while camping knows what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. The water over here is so amazing because it's crystal clear. I bet you could drink that without boiling it or anything. So beautiful. The cave that I came to see is right behind me, and while the desire to stay over here, camp over here overnight is pretty huge, it will be interesting. I'm not gonna do that because this is a sort of sightseeing spot, so people might come here during night. There is quite a lot of trails over here, so you know, I'm not scared of a lot of things, but I am kind of scared of people in the forest in the night. So my plan is to hike and climb on top of this hillside and find a spot from there. Hopefully I'm able to find a clear spot to set up my hammock on top of this hill. So let's get going, but we'll study this cave later. My heart is beating like crazy. Oh, but I made it. Let's find a good spot for the hammock. I think this is gonna be my spot. Another option could be to use these two trees so that my hammock would be sort of positioned with the cliff of this hill, this rocky hill, but I think this is a safer spot. I don't know. I mean, that tree is dead, but it's quite tall. That actually might be a bad idea. Because I've seen trees falling, big trees, even when there's no wind. So actually, that's something you kind of call, I think, widowmaker. So probably not a good spot, to be honest. So I'm kind of running out of options. It's too steep over there, and I don't want to go further into the forest because it just gets way too dark and bushy. So I might try these two, because I'm pretty much sure that this tree is not gonna fall down, but if I put weight on it, it might get tricky, so I don't want to do that. So maybe I'll try these two. This might work. I think this might work. I think I'm gonna need to raise this up a little bit. That's for sure. Perfect. That's just perfect. Wow. There was no rain in the forecast, so I'm probably gonna leave the tarp out. I'm able to set it up really fast if necessary. But I do need my sleeping pad. Sun has set. I'm still a little bit hungry. Luckily I have a few buns that I baked at home. I think I'm gonna eat one tonight before going to sleep, and then leave the other one for morning with those homegrown tomatoes which I left. My plan was originally to go back down after having set up the camp over here and explore the cave in the dark with my headlamp, but I'm too tired, and the hike over here was pretty rough, so I think I'm gonna leave that until the morning, and it looks more beautiful anyway in the morning. But I will do one thing before going to bed tonight. There's a trail that leads this steep hill right down, and actually the cave is right below me, so it's, I don't know, 20-30 meters below me, but it is so steep that I cannot like see it or anything like that. I can see the horizon over there behind the lake, so we are quite high, higher than tree tops, but I think there should be another cave. I haven't been here before, but I think there should be another cave on top of the cave, the bigger cave below. At least that's what I heard, and I think that's the trail that leads over there, so I'm going to explore it next. Well, let me just drink a little bit of fresh water and take a breath for a moment, because I'm exhausted and tired. I'm really bad, by the way, in hydrating myself when I'm camping. I get a huge headache if I don't remember to drink enough. That's my biggest issue with trekking and hiking and camping. I forget how much I sweat, and then I forget to drink, and I underestimate the amount of water that I need. I'm not sure how much we need to. Oh, I think this is it. But this is not a big one. This is just a small one. The one below is much bigger. Oh, but it is actually quite... Oh, wow. It actually is quite deep, but I am not gonna go in there. If you think I'm gonna go in there, you are crazy. It actually is quite deep. I'm surprised. And you could go in there. You definitely could go in there if you dare. I know I would fit over here, but I'm not gonna do that. I am not a fan of crammed, tiny spaces. I actually have some sort of phobia when it comes to this. So, you know, I wonder how deep that is. Whoa. It's gonna be so cozy in here. The night should be relatively warm. It should stay above 10 Celsius degrees, which is super rare in Finland in the end of August. Not complaining at all. A lot of times we don't get this warm nights in June or even July, so it's great. It's great. I slept so well. though it did take some time because I haven't been using this in a while to find just the right adjustments. And I think that's the key to this whole point. So if you I sometimes hear from people that they don't like to sleep in hammocks because it's not comfortable. In my opinion, then it's just the problem isn't the hammock, it's just that the adjustments aren't right. I personally like to keep the part where my head is a little bit higher than my feet, but not too much, just a little bit, and kind of like the tightness needs to be just right, because if it's hanging like a banana, it's gonna feel uncomfortable no matter what. But yeah, I wake up with zero back pain or anything, and usually always when I sleep in a tent I wake up with at least a little bit of back pain. The only problem that I don't like sleeping in a hammock, the only issue that comes with it, at least for me, is that I cannot really side sleep, and I'm usually a side sleeper, but in a hammock it just doesn't really work. I can't seem to find just the right position, so I just have to sleep on my back, and it takes a little bit longer for me to fall asleep that way, but I do fall asleep and I sleep good. I was planning on waking up a lot earlier, but clock is now I think 8 a.m. or something like that, so I slept really good. I think I'm gonna skip my morning campfire. that. That's a good one. The camera is already inside the cave, but you can see sunlight coming in a little bit. And it gets really dark over here, and if I'd go there without a lamp, I would disappear from the picture. And I can actually prove that to you. It is deeper than what it looks like. So I'm now going in. I'm going in. It's really dark in here. I bet you can't see me anymore. I don't know, but I bet you can't. I'm pretty sure I disappeared into the cave. I could go deeper, but I don't see anything. But if I put on my headlamp, you can see a lot more. You can see, maybe you can see how deep it is. You cannot see anything until I turn on my lamp. And now you can maybe see, wow, what a beautiful structure. It's balancing off perfectly from each rock. It looks kind of dangerous because a lot of these rocks are completely separated, but they are balancing off of each other. And there are smaller areas that you could go in, like over there, but not gonna do that now. Oh, and it is quite high over here, maybe 3 meters at least, might be more. The camera is now deep inside the cave, and I'm not sure how I should show this to you. As you can see, it's very beautiful. It has layers and layers of rocks and different kinds of rocks. Minerals, I don't know. So cool. Over there you can see the end of the cave. It doesn't look like much because there's no scale, but it is, I don't know, maybe 3.5 meters deep still from the camera until the end. You could fit in there if you'd want to go there. This way you can probably see the depth of this cave better. So over there you can obviously see the forest, and there's the entrance. My hot chocolate little camp is somewhere over there on that little cliff. And we are inside, not at the end, but almost at the end. And you can see this is the highest section of the cave. It's probably 3 meters at least tall. And here you can see some of these rocks that are separated and the layers. And below over here is the sort of the bonus section that goes maybe 3 meters, 4 meters inside still, but I'm not gonna go there. There's another section, by the way, also, but it is kind of tiny, but it is, I don't know, maybe it's at least, I think it's at least as deep as the other little section. Oh, and can you see that, by the way? Oh man, I wish I had another lens with me. This is about 11 meters deep, so it is not super deep, but deeper caves than that are very rare. Natural caves in Finland. In general, we don't have that much caves. They are not a thing over here, geologically. And it's a shame because I think caves are super fascinating. But just a few kilometers from here there are ancient rock paintings that are still existing. They are believed to be thousands of years old, maybe even 6,000 year old paintings. And this whole area has been roamed by people since the last ice age. If I was a hunter scavenger, this would be a perfect location for a shelter or a home. So you can just imagine the thousands of years that this cave has existed, all the people, maybe even animals, wild animals that have used this throughout the centuries. It's really fascinating. All kinds of things must have happened in this location, even though there are no marks. Well, only a few marks by modern men here and there, but otherwise it's just in its natural beauty. And I love that. I really need to come back here during winter time, maybe in the early winter. If I'm able to, I will come here during the first snow. It would be amazing to sit here and watch the snow just falling slowly on the ground. And it is very silent in here, even though you can probably hear it in the video here and there. There's a highway, I don't know, a mile or two away from here, so a few kilometers. And because of the location of this spot, because I've been on this hillside, it sort of amplifies all those traffic noises. So even though it's quite far away, you probably can hear it in the microphone as well, in the camera. But over here, it's nothing. It's just my boiler over here, and that's pretty much it. If it was a little bit windy, I could hear the trees, or the leaves and the branches rustling in the wind. That would be so beautiful. I think my hot chocolate is almost ready. I don't like it too hot, so I think I'm gonna close this off and just enjoy my breakfast. But if you made it this far, thanks for watching. It's really appreciated. If you like the video, think about subscribing, because there's more to come. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna enjoy my breakfast over here in the mostly silent nature. Still a bit too hot for me. And we'll see you soon, hopefully, on the next video. Take care. Bye bye.